What's going on? Matt Savoca here from Awesemo.com, bringing you my top plays on FanDuel for Saturday, March 19th, 2022. The ConTENders video, filling in for Josh Engelman as I have been on some of these Saturdays. It's a lot of fun, but before we dig into this 3-game slate for this Saturday, just want to remind you guys, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel so that you always know when we're going live by hitting the notification bell as well. And if you could give me, Matt Savoca, a follow on Twitter at Draftaholic, that would be much appreciated as well. We'd also like to thank our presenting sponsor, No House Advantage. No House Advantage, or NHA, is bringing you a different way to enjoy DFS with player props contests. It's 100% peer-to-peer, and they have over 500 player props offered. They have all new users getting a $25 new deposit bonus with promo code Awesemo. Check it out on the bottom of your screen. And remember, guys, there's mass entry capability, big prize pools. You can beat your friends, not the house. That's the best part. Use our NHA projections and optimal lineup tool on Awesemo.com to help you take down big prizes. Download it on the App Store or play over at NoHouseAdvantage.com. Okay, guys, let's get into my top plays for today. On the screen, you will see my 10 through 6 of my top plays on FanDuel. At number 10, with a 38% chance of being in the optimal lineup, it's Cade Cunningham. Missed some time this week, but should play plenty. Then Darius Garland, the guard for Cleveland, missed time earlier, but coming back and looking just as good as he did earlier this season. He's got a 39% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Then Kristaps Porzingis, making a huge impact on the floor, not necessarily in the win-loss column for Washington, but against a Lakers team who is also completely banged up and just isn't playing well at all this season. I think you could see Porzingis have a huge stat line also in the lineup 39% of the time. And then tied at 7 and 6, Saddiq Bey. I mean, what can you say? 51 points in his last outing. Just an incredible game from Saddiq Bey. And Russell Westbrook, much maligned, but still 44% chance of being in the optimal lineup, 37-point median projection for him at 6,900. It's one of those value plays nonetheless, despite how he's looking on the court in real life. None of them, however, crack the top 5. Who does? Let's watch and find out. At number 5, it's Dallas guard Jalen Brunson. We've got him projected for tons of playing time, and that's really where this starts, right? Over 34.5 minutes as a median projection. That's nearly a minute more than what he's averaged over his last 10 games. And the stat line beyond that, pretty solid. Over 17 points, over 4 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists, and a 90% chance of getting at least 1 steal. He just needs about 45 points to be a great play in DFS today at 5,200 in salary. With a median projection of 30 points, that's absolutely in the range of outcomes here. Not a huge ceiling projection, but a decent median. That's what gets him just above Westbrook with a 45% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Good enough for number 5. At number 4, it's the king, LeBron James. Get to him if you can possibly get to that 10,700 salary. The only Lakers player with a pulse, it feels like some nights, and of course, so much playing time. 38 minutes nearly as a median projection, 32 points nearly, 9 rebounds, and nearly 6 assists is our median projection for him tonight. 90% chance of the block, 1.3 median projected steals. I mean, LeBron can do it all. He will have to do it all. He hits 65 or more fantasy points in a whopping 16 or 18% of our latest simulations, and he's in the optimal lineup nearly 50% of the time in this 3-game slate. Good enough for number 4. At number 3, Detroit forward Jeremy Grant. Now, we talked about Jalen Brunson as one of those low salary players that can help you get to high salary plays like LeBron James. Jeremy Grant is another one, just 5,900 with a median projection of 35 points. Probably going to be popular just because of the fact that we don't have that many options on a 3-game slate, and yet we're seeing 36 minutes, nearly 36 minutes as a median projection, which would be nearly 5 minutes more than what Grant has averaged over his last 10 games. That is a huge part about why we see him as a strong value play. The median points projection, 21.5 nearly, and then 4.5 rebounds and 2.6 assists. Will absolutely take that. Looks like he might tack on a block and a steal as well. The matchup against Cleveland, the front court isn't as at full strength. We know that, but still, the defense for Cleveland is one of their strong suits. Nonetheless, if you're going to play 36 minutes on a 3-game slate, we're very interested in you, especially at 5,900 in all-in salary. Jeremy Grant is number 3. At number 2, Washington forward Kyle Kuzma. And now Kyle Kuzma isn't being asked to do quite as much or even play quite as much with Kristaps Porzingis back in the lineup for Washington. But still, we're talking about a difference between 33, 34 minutes played and 36, 37 minutes played. We're not talking about Kuzma suddenly riding the pine here. No, not at all. We just have him at a more tempered projection all around in our median projections. Less than 20 points is a median projection, less than 9 rebounds, and just over 5 assists. A 70% chance of getting a steal and a 90% chance of getting a block. He contributes in all ways. And again, the Lakers 28th in defensive rating over their last 10 games. This should be a decent matchup, if there is a decent matchup for Washington this year. He's got a solid 13 to 15% chance of being in the optimal, or excuse me, getting to over 45 points, and a solid 55% chance of being in the optimal lineup. That's due to a median projection near 40 points at just a $7,000 salary. That's good enough for number 2, but not quite the number 1 play on FanDuel. Now, before I dig into my final play, my number 1 play on FanDuel for this Saturday, just want to remind you guys, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you always know when we're going live. You guys know what to do. And if you could give me, Matt Savoca, a follow on Twitter at Draftaholic, that's always much appreciated as well. Also, go ahead and give Josh Engelman a follow on Twitter at Josh Engelman as well. He's the GOAT. He's amazing at these videos. He helps you out all week long. I'm happy to fill in for him some of these Saturdays here. Okay, guys, let's dig into my final play for Saturday on FanDuel. And my number 1 play on FanDuel, it's Luka Doncic. It's either LeBron or Luka, right? That's where you're spending your 10K salary, or your 10K salary can go, right? And at 10.9, obviously more than LeBron James, I still think it's worth it. We got a minutes projection just the same, 37.6 minutes. That would be 1 more than Doncic has averaged over his last 10 games. And you know he fills the stat sheet in all ways, especially against Charlotte, who has been a little bit better defensively over their last 10 games, but still one of the weaker teams in the league on defense. 32.6 median projection in points, nearly 10 rebounds, over 8 assists, 1.2 steals, and a 60% chance as a block, a 10% chance of hitting nearly 70 points, and a 21% chance of hitting 65 points. There's only a few people we see in the league who have that kind of distribution of fantasy outcomes. I mean, the most likely range of outcomes is 55 to 65 points for Doncic tonight against Charlotte. I love it. It is my number 1 play on FanDuel, and it's not particularly close. And that is gonna do it for our top plays on FanDuel for Saturday, March 19th in the NBA. If you're looking for the DraftKings version of this video, it's around here somewhere. Go ahead and look for it on the channel here. And we'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, No House Advantage. One more time, use promo code Awesemo to get up to a $25 deposit bonus when you sign up. We will be back, of course, with all the contenders video. Josh will be back as usual. We'll have all the coverage you need leading up to tip-off tonight as well. Until next time, I'm Matt Savoca. We'll see you guys later.